Welcome to Ziffity Quick Chat.
Recently launched the new platform along with you guys. You've been really helpful. It's too rigid. The structure of eCommerce is too rigid. Magento doesn't need to be customized, but it has a lot more features to build in. Your approach at the discovery was one of the best, I think.
All right. Well, welcome to the Ziffity podcast, episode number 1. We have with us here Esteban Delgado from Travers Mexico. And for those of you who may not be familiar with Travers or Travers Mexico, Esteban, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, the role you play in your team, and kind of what, maybe a brief history of what got you to this role in this team and working on these types of projects.
Good. Thank you, Marco, for the introduction, and thank you for inviting me in. The role I play in here in Travers, I mean, with a B2B company selling tools, mainly for the industry, and I am the digital manager here. We are in charge of the e-commerce side. We recently launched the new platform along with you guys. You've been really helpful here. And also, we are leading the digital marketing strategy, the digital marketing campaigns like email. We don't have many channels yet. I think we mainly focused on building a robust base to start acquiring traffic. And now we have it. We are the team is also leading the PIM or CMS, the content information, the product information management or the content management system. We are all the information is coming through us. It's crossing across the digital department. I think we are also leading the Reich. It's a project management tool. So we are now becoming like the detectives or police officers for the information, because now that we built a website that is automatically built, we are the huge, like a huge storefront. And it's also showing all our mess. So we had to, along the launch and building the website, we had to revamp and clean all the data that we had for the products, the categories, the attributes were pretty dirty. And now we're struggling because we also have APIs calling in real time the ERP system for pricing, inventory, and customer data. And we are struggling with that data because it's super dirty. I mean, this is data that has been touched for many years by many people and non-digital people that as soon as they can find the information there, they don't care. If they save the email at the name field, they don't care. And a website is like a robot that, hey, your data is in this box, and even though the information is on the top of the box, the robot is not going to find it, right? So that's where we are struggling. Yeah,
sounds like with a new set of tools, more advanced set of tools, you are now having to rethink perhaps some of your internal just the way that you manage your own data, information, and content to make better use of these tools.
Yeah, exactly.
So how about, where does your team and the Travers Mexico business, how does it compare to the Travers US counterpart? What are some of the similarities? What are some of the differences? What are some of the things that perhaps you think are unique to Mexico that presented unique challenges when replatforming onto Adobe Commerce?
I think the main difference is that they have a bigger product management team, but we have a bigger design department. And I think we also have a bigger a bigger digital team. I mean, we are only 6 people counting me, but I think they are more focused over product management, and I think that is correct for them. But we are mainly focusing on marketing strategies and how to attract more customers and to start like promoting all our new products. I think we have a few difference, and actually if I'm able to share my screen, I could show you like can you enable it? So if you see here, are you able to see my screen now? Nice. So if you see here, this is like I've designed this map. I mean, this is a lot of information, so just bear with me. Okay, so this is the marketing funnel, right? So we have our customers here, and now how we attract them into the conversion, then transform them into loyal customers, and then we have on the other side we have the organization and the team. We have the suppliers, and those suppliers provide us the product to send to the customer, right? So I'm just going to hide these two to be more specific. And if you see here, we have yeah, it's a little slow, but let's see here. We have all the team members. We have the digital department. We have a web designer, a UX designer. We have two persons at content management system, the web operations, and the marketing planning. We have a graphic designer team, like around 8 to 9 people, the product analysts, the strategic team, the finance, the purchase, operations, and all of them are think, quote unquote, to be at the right funnel stage that they are currently, because the sales and telemarketing team are the face to the customers, right? We have three main segments. We are focused over companies and their users, and we also have distributors, which we also have a different strategy for them. And mainly, if you see here, the conversion rate is Magento, and or the new website is at the center of everything, and it's showing all that we have, everything that we have stored at our DAM, at our CMS, and our ERP. It's showing through APIs and through CSVs with different extractions and tools are coming into the website and empowering the search result and all the pages there. Mainly, yeah, this is the main, the biggest picture, the big picture for our company and how the website are, the different marketing channels and the main value propositions that the website is throwing to the customers. Sure. I think this is the big picture.
So let's walk it back a little bit towards I believe it was somewhere in 2020 when you started to consider seriously the replatforming project away from SanaCommerce onto Adobe, right? What were some of the things about some of the limitations or lack of features in SanaCommerce that you think would have prevented you from being able to grow into this type of technical ecosystem that you now have today?
Okay, SanaCommerce fed, through CSVs at some points and mainly through APIs, which made it too slow. Because the APIs were big piece of chunks, and if you know that to be able to optimize an API, you have to split it into microservices. So I think, for instance, PLPs, the product listing pages, were built through APIs. So to load the prices and inventories and stocks for 25 products, it's a huge load for an API. And now if you multiply that for the multiple clicks and the multiple users clicking over, it's a huge load for the APIs.
So architecturally not very efficient, or not efficient enough to where you knew you were heading.
Yeah, exactly. So we had speed load, the flexibility is the second point, the main second point, because in terms of designing new features and new look and feels, it's too rigid. The structure of SanaCommerce is too rigid, and everything was needed to be customized. And I mean, it doesn't mean that Magento doesn't need to be customized, but it has a lot more features to build in and to play with out of the box.
Definitely.
And once you customize it, you can also take your custom and modify it like in an easier way that SanaCommerce had. Those were the main two points. Apart from that, I think SanaCommerce was doing a good job, but it was limited for to a specific amount of traffic. I mean, the scalability was the third point that we didn't think that we could go much further.
Right. So then how did you end up learning about Adobe, Magento, their product suite? Were you familiar with the software beforehand, or did you all go through some vetting process? What are some of the things about the discovering Adobe Commerce or Magento as a platform that looked or sounded attractive to you at the time?
They already took the decision. They wanted the biggest, because we wanted to be along the New York team in the same license. So what we really research around was to hire an agency to build this Magento out, because we interviewed, I don't know, maybe like 20 agencies around the world, in the US, in Mexico, and also in India, a couple of agencies, and along all of them, you won. And I did an intensive research of the site that they built, and the speed load testings and UX designs. Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, that kind of leads us into the next segment of topics, which is your overall impressions. Maybe perhaps start with first impressions on Ziffity, how that discovery process went, and then over time, what is it that good and bad, what is it that stood out about how Ziffity operates, the people that were involved in the project, the consulting, the planning, and the delivery of it. Can you speak a little bit about your experience so far? Because it's been about 3 years now, right?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, 3 years from now. Okay, so along with all the research, because we were evaluating costs, the professionalism that the team stated in the first approach, the scalability of the team that the agencies had, the capabilities and the variety of resources that the agencies had. I mean, talking about a solutions architect or UX designers and UI programmers and React developers, and also we were checking the UX design, the designs for the sites that you built, and also the speed load around those sites. So, and along those 5 elements, to put it that way, you were the most regular and consistent along all of them. I mean, you weren't the most, for instance, the most professional or the most the sites you built weren't the most beautiful, but you were pretty close. And also the cost efficiency was a huge difference versus the other guys, right? And also the scalability that you provided and you stated, because your approach at the discovery was one of the best, I think, because you were stating all the main key points that we should dig around. You didn't, some of them went like, oh, you need to do all of this, you know, like a pre-stated workflow, to put it that way, or a
Prescriptive, perhaps.
yeah,
Looking too far into the future and pretending to know exactly what the solution is before
yeah,
you even start unknotting the problem, right?
Exactly. And you guys were like, hey, I don't know what to offer to you. I don't know what you need. Just let me know your needs, and then I'll provide some big approach, and this is going to change. And you were super clear about whatever you wanted to build for us and what your capabilities or your understanding was. I mean, you didn't state, hey, your project is going to cost this much. I mean, this is an estimation, but it can change because of this and this and this, and that is the reality.
Cool. Yeah, good to hear. Definitely the being realistic and honest about the complexity and about the things that you don't know, I think go a long way in the beginning of a project, in taking the time to understand the problem before committing to investing in some solution, right? So that's good to hear. Anyone from the Ziffity team that you would like to give special mention to, anyone that you thought was particularly helpful, of particularly sharp at their skill set, whether it was designers, architects, project managers, anyone that you can recall?
Yeah, I mean, not because you're here, but you were pretty helpful because of your tool languages. I mean, having the ability to talk to someone in your native language, it's like super helpful. And also, I think along the way, Samuel and Simeon have been really helpful with the project management. Deva at the beginning were like super helpful to understand the reach that we could have, that you as a team could have. Simeon has been very passionate about understanding our deepest needs and trying to focus the team and to translate everything into the development team.
Yeah, he's a good thinker for sure.
Yeah, I think Syed and Chandru in the development team, they have been like very helpful with trying to give us the full understanding of the development part, and explaining why this cannot happen, or how can it be happening in some other way, like the workarounds, and explaining and making a great effort to explain how does this works in the back end.
Yeah, thanks for all that. We'll make sure to let those guys know that their efforts are definitely recognized. And so I'm assuming the site is live now. You're in a stable stable place. You mentioned you are dedicating more time to the digital marketing and merchandising dimension of it all, right? Getting people, now that you have a functioning and good performing website, you now are trying to get people traffic to it, trying to get people used to that experience, right? We know that, especially in the business to business space, there's sometimes it's sometimes challenging for people that are used to doing business a certain way offline, right? Through phone calls, through email, through chat, through very what are now could be considered outdated practices, to shift and get used to doing all of that business on a website, right? On a computer,
Exactly.
on a phone, without talking to anyone, without directly interacting with anyone. To those ideas, what would you say are some of the pieces or parts of your business model that you are excited to evolve, or that you want to look into now that you have more technological capabilities? What are some of perhaps some trends that you want to accommodate for, or anything exciting that you're looking forward to next, now that kind of step one is in place?
Okay, so as a small context, I'll say that I was in Walmart, walmart.com.mx, leading the digital marketing strategy. And when I got here into a B2C, from a B2C to a B2B, I was trying to implement some of those strategies that work pretty well at Walmart, right? Even the paid search, and Google PLA or Google Shopping and Facebook ads, but none of those work here. So we thought of this site as specifically to be built in order to help the sales agent to support the customer, right? So we are the most eager features that I'm trying to get are the quote workflow, for instance, the punch out catalog, to merge those biggest customers into the website through their ERP, and to connect our ERPs, and also to help, because we are facing some challenges here in Mexico as a digital channel, because the people is not that digital. The digital market is not that evolved as in the US, or maybe South America. The companies are like, I don't know how to put it, but like bureaucratic systems. They have bureaucratic systems that they won't give the purchase agent the company's credit card to purchase online, because frauds can happen.
They're not used to purchasing online.
Yeah, they're not used to purchase online. The purchase agent can be misusing that card. A lot of fears that they have, right? So we have to think of, okay, you can have your company's credit into the website, but even though if you don't want to use that same you don't want to place the order here, you can also place a quote that can respect your 15 days of prices, the prices for 15 days, or that can the sales agent, you can call the sales agent and say, hey, I place a quote. Yeah, I received it. I can close it out. In the meanwhile, you can go through your internal processes. The company can still have their internal bureaucratic processes, and you can still be able to place the order or the quote through the website. So the path we're walking is how to help the sales agent even more to release their time to be able to prospect more and get to close more leads into the funnel.
Okay, so quoting sounds like quoting and punch out catalogs, right?
Yeah,
Other one. So
we
for
are
those
develop
who
we are also developing a new search result approach for usability. Most of our traffic, I think 80% of our traffic is going through the web to the search result. So we are using Hotjar as a heat map and click map to measure the customer's interaction, and we've come to a different issues there, and I think those features are the best to solve.
Yeah, those sound like interesting initiatives for sure. So let's see, maybe to wrap it up here, last question. What is, if you could go back in time and give yourself one piece of advice 3 years ago when you were starting this project, what do you think that would be? What is the something that you wish you would have known, either about how the B2B model in general works, about how web development works, or about something specific about Adobe or Magento? What's one thing that you wish you would have known at the beginning of the project that you've learned since then?
Although I'm pro agile and working with MVPs and stuff like that, I would say dig more around the specific needs that you have, mainly for the APIs, but because that's what we've come across, because when not all the teams are that professional as you are being, like you have all the stages of development, right? Including QA assurance and quality assurance and code reviews and testings and stuff like that. And we've come across a team with the APIs that does not take that much. Only build whatever you tell them to build. They do not think as if they were using it, and they do not test it out. They only build it and, hey, this is working. Hey, but
have as the specifications to reference, and as long as it meets specs.
More than 80 users at the same more than 80 concurrent users was throwing the API down, the pricing API down. So this is like super low capacity, but they didn't know because they didn't test them out. So I would state, for me, the advice that, hey, be more specific, dig around and think of all the possibilities, and be more specific, document, and if they are not testing, dig around if they are testing, and if not, create your own testing.
Interesting. Yeah, that's a good one. Specificity, and perhaps paying more attention to the non-functional requirements, right? Aside of exactly what is this piece of code supposed to do, how is it going to behave in the real world?
The full workflow.
What ebbs and flows could throw it off course. Sure, that's cool. Well, Esteban, do you have anything that you want to, any shout outs, anything you want to comment on? Where can people find you? Where can people find Travers? Your headquarters are in Querétaro, right? Which is a city close to Mexico City. Any closing thoughts or remarks?
No, I mean, you can find us in travers.com.mx. You can find the contacts there. I think, to close this out, I'm pretty grateful to you guys. You've been really helpful for us and helping us out to understand the deeper levels of how the development world works.
Mhm.
And yeah, I think you've been super professional, and wanted to thank you with this
Cool. Yeah,
meeting.
likewise. We can say the same. We've definitely learned a ton. Thanks to the massive project that was Travers US and Travers Mexico put together was definitely a good challenge for us as a company. So cool. Well, thank you very much, Esteban, for coming online with us today, and we'll keep in touch.
Nice. Thanks you guys. Thank you for this time.
Yep. All right. Signing off.